feel comfortable in Wade County no more.
Yeah, I think we need to take that. We need to take that Wade County up off of, man, for you to even, feel like, we done laid the carpet out for you. Let's get into what he said. You know what I mean? But this is disrespect to people in Florida who got, I got a Wade jersey, dog. I was there saying, yeah, this Wade City. And now to be like,
Well, he
to,
said his family left Florida because they would not be accepted. Well, we've been in Florida most of our lives. We grew up in
mhm,
Florida, if the audience don't know. Let's
yeah,
keep it funky. Do you
right.
really feel like Florida is a welcoming state for transgender people or people in the LGBTQ community?
Yeah, because I grew up in Oakland Park, Florida, and I stay next to a city that's called Wilton Manors. And this city has been thriving for years. Since I was a little boy, I was always taught that, over here is where the LGBT community is. And I remember a story, one of my friends actually, he was in the streets and we actually served somebody over there. And I was kind of weird, like, bro, why is you serving a LGBT? And he was like, man, we ain't worried about that. So, I feel like it ain't though. I feel like it's places in Florida where you could be you could be with the LGBT. Ain't nobody gonna mess with you. Ain't nobody gonna care about what you got going on. But
Okay, so you feel like it's a welcoming place. Let me read here from what Huffington Post is saying. Retired NBA great Dwayne Wade said that his family left Florida because the state's restrictive laws targeted LGBTQ people in an interview set to air this week. Wade made comments for Showtime's Headliner series, which airs Thursday, telling the host Rachel Nichols his family moved to California after he retired from the NBA in 2019. Wade's 15-year-old daughter, Zaya, is transgender, if anybody doesn't know that. That's another reason why I don't live in that state. He said a lot of people don't know that. I have made decisions for my families. It's not personal. Let's hear it from his mouth. Every time we could have a person tell their story in their own words, we try to do that. So
What do
check
you
out
have
the
to
sit.
say to
Check
some of
out
those
the
state legislators who maybe have your jersey in their closets, who came and brought their kids to your game to cheer for you?
it takes a secure man to sit like that with your legs
yeah,
crossed like that.
yeah.
Salute the way, Hug. Let's go.
Salute to him,
But
brother.
I think that's another reason why I don't live in that state. A lot of people don't know that I have to make decisions for my family, not just personal individual decisions. I mean, obviously the taxes is great. Having Wade County is great, but my family would not be accepted or feel comfortable there. So that's one of the reasons why I don't live there.
Strong statement, man. And I think that he has a point. I'm in Florida. We got Ron DeSantis as a governor, and he's expanding that "Don't Say Gay" bill. They might talk about that in the article. Let's go. Florida has become an epicenter of the Republican efforts to limit the freedoms of the LGBTQ plus community. Americans um, Governor Ron DeSantis has unleashed a government attack against Disney after the company opposes "Don't Say Gay" legislation. State lawmakers have since expanded the law and have moved to limit gender affirming care for transgender youth and punish businesses that host drag shows. I don't mean to put you on the spot, Bob, but you've expressed that you're against gender affirming care for transgender youth. Are you
For
still
kids, yeah, I'm still against that.
okay?
Uh,
So it makes sense. You earlier said that you don't understand why Wade wouldn't feel welcome in the state of Florida because we say Wade County and all of this stuff here. Here goes a perfectly good reason. Y'all don't want to let his kid exist
yeah,
and express his gender the way he
I think
wants.
there are people. There are it's plenty transgender that we see down here in Florida. It's not, they all ain't saying Wade is just fortunate. I guess he want people, kissing his hand, kissing his feet. Oh, and I mean, people ain't caring about what he got going on with how he had his son daughter change. We not really worried about that. We do. Some people do feel it was wrong, but we're not gonna be outside and be like, hey man, Wade, you ain't right. It's like, no, we got respect for Wade, bro. So I don't think he had any problems. I just feel like it's a DeSantis thing. He understand what DeSantis is doing, but look, I'll tell you this. Him and Gabrielle actually went to Ghana. I read this article. They went to Ghana and was trying to tell the president that you need to open up and have people feel comfortable with transgender being here. So I don't know if he's on some, kind of agenda with making sure people
Oh
change
my
their ways,
gosh.
but
You was almost doing good until you brought up the agenda. You know what I'm saying? The agenda is people want to be accepted as human beings. You are saying yourself, you're against gender affirming kids for youth, but you'll admit you're not a doctor, and you don't have nothing to do with how this man raised his kids. So the fact that, we feel like we should be, imposing on people making the best decision for their families with their doctors and on the side of science is crazy to me. But a lot of people feel the way that you feel. But I feel what Wade's saying, that this state, I mean, he's proven it. You're saying, oh, people ain't gonna be saying stuff to him verbally out in public. He didn't mention nothing like that. He's talking about laws that are restricting how his daughter wants to live. And it ain't just going on in Florida. And in Texas, there's an agency that's firing people for not wearing clothes that are consistent with their bio gender. So if there's a
that's
guy that
dope.
wants,
That's dope.
they're doing that in Texas. There's a Vice story on that. So
That's dope.
this is just one of the states that's like that. I wonder. He said he lives in California. They got Gavin Newsom over there. He's more of a liberal governor, so that makes sense that he'll be over there. But it's an interesting story, being that we live in Florida, man. I talk to people all the time, and they say crazy stuff like they want transgender people to have their own bathroom. They're against gender affirming care for youth. Uh, it's
I
overwhelming,
mean,
man. They
once
think
you
there's an
18,
agenda. They,
yeah,
they think
once
that
you
gay
21,
characters in cartoons, I'm just gonna get
yeah,
this out. They think gay characters in cartoons are harmful to kids, and they're against drag shows where people dressed in drag read stories to little kids. That's a big issue here, which has nothing to do with policy. Go ahead, Bob.
yeah, and I agree, man. I mean, it's just something about that. Maybe it was the way I was raised coming out of, but I feel like it is. I feel like it is a excess that you're giving people. You're giving a group of people of things that they don't really. They're not there yet. We're not there for the shows and for the kids, and that's okay. It's okay
Okay,
for people to view their point and don't
okay, but
want that.
listen,
Go
all
ahead.
I'm trying to say is the kids are getting there with their parents. So these are parents that are making decisions for their family and saying, I think this is appropriate for my kid. Do you think that little babies are walking into these shows by themselves?
No, but
Okay, so
just like
if you're against it, so all I'm saying is if you're against it, you could just not bring your kid to one. What is the point of making laws to stop other parents who feel like there's nothing wrong with that from going? Why do you feel there needs to be a law against that?
this is why, okay?
Okay.
Just like with securities, stocks, and crypto, right? You can have people do things and say things to influence people to make decisions, and it's consequences behind that. Just like we seen with celebrities saying, hey, y'all go check this out. So just like you saying with this, people feel like this can make their kids and go beyond their beliefs on what they believe and what they're teaching their kids.
Okay, so what are
So
you talking about? Like how is a drag show where they're reading stories to little kids? How is that going to make a kid go beyond their beliefs? And if they don't want their kid going to it, they can simply not bring their kid to it. So how
well,
does that
there's some
happen?
people beliefs that whatever you're born with, that's what you are, and that's what you appreciate, and
Okay, so
that's
why
what
don't you
you
keep your
have
beliefs in
gratitude
your
to.
household? Why does that? Why do you need
They
a law to
do. That's
stop
why
other
they don't
people?
go to those drag shows. That's
Okay,
why it's
but you're
kids
saying
that
that you support a law stopping drag shows for drag queens or people, from reading to little kids when parents are the ones bringing their kids to it. It don't
oh
seem
yeah,
like you got
they
very
bringing
solid
it.
footing. You bringing up crypto and stuff. That's how I know you struggling to come up with a good reason to stop this. People, we in America, right? They should be free to
Yeah.
do what they feel is fit with their family. I don't think there needs to be a law against that. And if the doctors and the parents say that they want to undergo some gender affirming care, so be it. And not to mention, that's not the only restrictions that they making here in Florida. They trying to take away birth control. They trying to take away abortion altogether. It's just another it's just another example of the government trying to get in your pants in Florida. Worry about what you
Oh, I
doing
don't think it's
with
the
your family.
government.
Hey man, that
I
is the
think it's
government.
people. Yeah, but I think it's people actually. These are people that feel like this because yeah, there are people that actually because they're in Wilton Manors, like I said, there's LGBT community, there's transgender, and ain't nobody be studying them over there on that side of town. And I come
Okay,
from
but we're talking about laws. We ain't talking about who's studying who. We're talking about laws are being imposed on people to make them live a
exactly.
certain way. That's what. So
What do
stay
you mean?
focused on that.
No,
Let's
it's
not
not
worry
no
about
law.
how people are living in Wilton Manors, because you bringing that up like that really makes a difference. That's a red herring. That's
You
irrelevant.
said
We're talking about laws that are changing
right.
people's lives. That's a
So
problem
Trent,
for them.
right. So the the main thing you said was the
Huh?
transgenders reading the kids.
Huh? I
You
said what?
said they're making laws where they don't want transgenders reading
They
to
don't want
kids,
gender affirming.
care for kids.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
Right. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with that, man. I don't think you had a kid and you can make certain decisions. I don't think those decisions need to be
They're
made
make
until you're grown.
they're making it with their parents though, and the doctor. So it's not
That's
by they're not making a rogue
this is
decision.
where the influence comes in at. This is where if kids see a lot of people doing that and parents get adapted to it, okay, this is where kids will be probably making a decision because it's out here and
Yeah,
people
but
are doing it.
that's how I know that you're like out of your mind, because you
Okay.
think that kids turn gay from watching drag
No,
shows
I'm not saying
no,
that. I'm
no, but
saying they
that's kind of
influence.
what you're saying.
I
You're
said
saying
with
that they're getting
crypto, no.
influenced. That's
I
not
said
how it
that can
works.
influence. I said
That's not
no.
how it works, bro. Why they're not
Okay.
getting influenced by all the straight relationships they're seeing? Did you get influenced into being straight? You sound crazy. Like when y'all talk like that, like, oh, if my kid sees a gay character in a television show, he's going to be influenced to turn gay. Or if they
No, I'm
see
not.
gay people in the world, that's going to influence them to want to get gender affirming care as a kid. Are you crazy?
I'm saying, do you know that this gender affirming care could these be influencers? Could Dwayne Wade and you? Because did you hear
Now
what
you're
his
in
mom said?
conspiracy theory world.
No.
You're
Did
in
you hear what his
conspiracy
mom
theory
said?
world.
Did you hear what the kid mom said? The mom said they did this for money. I'm speaking about the transgender mom. She spoke out. So yeah, we can go deep on it. So this is what I'm saying. We got to hear her story too. Her story. We're just hearing
Oh my
Dwayne
God.
Wade's
We don't got to
story.
hear everybody's story.
Okay.
Like if somebody says
Okay.
the earth is flat, do we need to hear their story? Do we really
Let's
need to
go to that.
flesh that out before we could just dismiss it? She can
So you
say
dismissing
whatever.
what the mom say. So the mom don't got wherever
Listen,
she feel.
man, that sounds like a conspiracy. Just like you on some conspiracy shit. You're like, I think there could be an agenda. When people start talking like that, I know that they're in conspiracy land.
I'm
And a
speaking
lot of
on this
people
man's
hold that
mom.
belief. I'm in
Right.
South Florida, bro. I know a lot of people who think just like you, and I tell them the same thing. You're out of your mind. But that's all I got to say about that.